So today we're going to be taking a look at a scenario where Nigeria forms an empire. Now Nigeria is one of the most populated countries in Africa, also one of the most strongest countries in Africa, so why not give it an empire? The empire videos lately have actually been doing pretty well, which means that the series can be revived. I don't know how long that's going to be sustained, but hopefully for a long enough time. Also, this video may not even exist. I got like 20 minutes to record this, and also like someone could walk in at any time. Technically, this isn't free time for me, or like allocated recording time since one of my classes got canceled. But that's the whole thing. Channel members, you already know about it. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel if you're new. All of the support is greatly appreciated. And let's go ahead and jump straight into this video. Alright, so like I said, Nigeria, one of the strongest countries in Africa. We're going to be giving it an empire today. And luckily for Nigeria, they don't really have much competition around them. The closest country to them that could give them a run for their money is like Algeria, or I guess the DRC. But the DRC is an interesting mess. I think Algeria would probably win that in terms of who's the strongest neighbor to them. But they don't even border them, so they don't really have to worry about that. So we kind of don't have to buff Nigeria, but since this is their empire video, we're going to give them a little bit of a little buff. That made a lot of sense. But Nigeria's first target is actually going to go ahead and be Togo. Am I correct? Nope, that is not. That is Benin. See, the issue is with Togo and Benin is that they are right next to each other. They're both very small, and they also are kind of shaped similarly, but Benin is the slightly bigger one, so I gotta remember that. Alright, but what do we know about empire videos? Well, the empire, or I guess in this case Nigeria, absolutely smacks around their opponents at first. It just is not pretty, and that's because, well, first of all, these guys aren't very strong, and second of all, they're buffed. So it's a pretty quick and simple war for Nigeria. They wipe out Benin, and they immediately send their troops to the border of Togo. And it's much of the same Nigerian troops enter in and completely destroy the country. And once again, we have full annexation by the Nigerians. Okay, cool. So Nigeria has started to expand into West Africa, because southwestern Africa is like this, but up here is Western Africa, southwestern. Is this making sense? I don't think so. We're going to continue on. So Nigeria now has taken over two countries, two pretty small countries. I don't think the world would care too much, but for the sake of the video, the UN and all those other organizations that might get involved or would, sanction Nigeria, they're going to stay out of this and leave it to themselves. So cool. There's going to be no foreign involvement for Nigeria. Now, domestically, there could be stuff happening, but not outside of Africa. Also, I just want to say real quick, my setup was very rushed. I didn't think I was going to be able to record today, but I got this small little chance. It still is kind of iffy, up in the air. Like, this video may not actually be posted because I might, someone might walk in when I'm recording and I can't record while someone's in here. Also, I'm planning on updating the world map. I think some of you guys probably saw the community tab. I do want to add like major cities and alliances on their own layer and stuff like that, just to kind of spice up the videos a little bit. For example, in the civilization series, things are like all on their own layer. So capitals are on their layer. We have alliances, major cities, religions, and stuff like that. So that kind of stuff, I think adding that to the world map would actually kind of help out all my Wednesday videos a lot, make them a little bit more captivating, a little bit more interesting. But we have Nigeria going ahead and invading all of Ghana. And in this peace treaty here, they were once again fully annexed. That's the first time someone's ever walked into the room while I was mid-recording. I clutched up though, I didn't say anything. Alright, once again, Nigeria is spreading themselves around southwestern West Africa. But now the world, or not the world, but now Africa, and specifically the countries around it, are getting a little bit concerned about their expansion. So what do we have forming here? Well, we have a little bit of a block forming between Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. Now, I don't want to be mean to these countries, but I don't think Nigeria would have much interest in invading them, mostly because they don't have much to offer for them. I mean, that's not completely true. Every country has something valuable. But, when you're going after these guys, maybe like Cameroon down in these more resourceful areas is probably a little bit more interesting for Nigeria. Speaking of which, they're going to declare war on Cameroon. And much like their other fallen African friends, Cameroon is going to get slapped around and will not win this war and will not even be able to push back the Nigerians. See, if Nigeria really wanted to in real life, they could go kind of crazy because they don't, like Nigeria, 230 plus million people, and then their neighbors, not that much. And then, you have the whole military government. Now, Nigeria also, I think they're going through a little bit of unrest right now. This is my fault for not keeping up to date with it, but I don't believe all as well as here. I could be completely wrong in making that up, though. Correct me if I'm wrong. Or no, I might be thinking of Niger, because these two countries have a very similar name for some reason. But yeah, Cameroon is gone. Let's go ahead and get this peace treaty done. And I think I'm actually going to spare Cameroon a little bit. Nope, just kidding. They're going to get fully annexed. number 2, second time. I think we're good for the rest of my 15 minutes though. All right, so Cameroon fully indexed. They're gonna go on a little bit of a conquest here, take over a few of these islands, whatever this one is. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna lie to you. I can name a majority of the countries in the world, but when it comes to like this, or for example, these guys, not that great. Sure, I can get all the mainland continents, all of their countries, but when it comes to these little freaking islands, bro, I don't know what's going on. Anyway, Nigeria, after invading Cameroon and fully annexing them, is going to get themselves another op, and that op is going to be Chad. Okay, so what we see here is like kind of like sub-Saharan Africa forming up against Nigeria. Once again, though, they don't have much interest in that region, so it's kind of futile. Anyway, Nigeria will now carry on operations into Equatorial Guinea. They're gone. They will now invade into the Central African Republic. I want you to make a wild guess as to how this goes. Not good, but Nigeria's going to stop halfway through because they're getting kind of far from their core territory. So they split CAR into 2 and then offer them peace negotiations, which will look something like this. Alright, so now Nigeria has spread its influence into Central Africa, specifically near the DRC, and this will be something that we come back to in a little bit, but first, Nigeria is going to go ahead and add 2 more bodies to their list. I want you guys to take a wild guess as to what Nigeria does here. Obviously, they're going to win. Once again, Nigeria, in real life, if you really wanted to, you can go out and form a crazy empire. Of course, the international community would probably step in and stop you, but I mean, really, there's no one that's capable of slowing down Nigeria should they go imperial. They would, of course, have to make some changes first, but it's not impossible. But in this peace treaty here with Gabon and the Republic of Congo, they will only take the northern parts of this country because, once again, they don't want to get too far from their core territory. But now Gabon and the Republic of Congo are a little bit weaker. They should be fine, though. Should be. Alright, so now Nigeria has done a lot, and they're looking very good. However, their expansion has gotten a little controversial, because the DRC just joined in on this block. And now, all of a sudden, this block is going to declare war on Nigeria. Basically, it turns into a coalition. So, Nigeria is going to get jumped by half of Africa. Well, not half of Africa, but you get the point. And unfortunately for Nigeria, their armies are a little bit displaced, a common theme in these videos. Yeah, I'm sorry, it just happens a lot to where, like, my justification for things happening and things going certain countries' ways is a lot of the same thing. For example, armies being displaced. Why do I do that so often? I don't know. But these guys will jump into Nigeria, and at first it goes very well, specifically in the captured regions over here in the Ghana region, and of course over here where the Nigerians just did a lot of damage to Central Africa. Now, what do we also know is that all their armies are down here. So this little insanity run by the DRC is shortly lived. You know what else is shortly lived? Southern Chad. Nigerian troops start to overrun the area. However, back over here in the west, it's not going so well as the blue team has just reached the ocean, which means that Ghana is free. And now they are seeping into the north of Nigeria, causing a little bit of a political crisis. Nigerian troops will enter into the DRC, completely disregarding any kind of terrain or environmental challenges here, because I don't roll like that. Chad will continue to be invaded until they're not, and that's because the blue team is once again doing a pretty good offensive over here. Now, the world's looking at this like, Nigeria, are you a fraud? And their response would probably be something like this. No, we have our armies, doing military police stuff, trying to get these areas to settle down and not break away from us right now, because we kind of did go a little too fast. We took too much land at once, and this is something that I kind of reiterate a lot, is that if you take too much land at once, it's probably going to be really hard to assimilate it, and you're going to have to use your military to do so. And if you use your military to do so, you're kind of prone to getting jumped. And that's exactly what happened here. So Nigeria will be like, yo, Algeria, you want to do something funny? And Algeria is like, yes, I do. So Algeria joins the war on the side of Nigeria. A lot of Algerias here. But this is going to go exactly how you expected. Jumping. They're getting jumped in the Sahara. Algeria joining this war is kind of like a dagger. It's like the Baltimore Ravens getting Derrick Henry. It's just over. Nigeria will start to push back in these armies over here because guess what they're doing? They're retreating. And they will take back all of their core territory and meet up with Algeria halfway through Niger. See, if you don't know the name of these countries, you're probably thinking that I'm speaking a different language. Niger, Algeria, Nigeria. What else is there? Burkina Faso? What kind of name is that? Sorry. Yeah, Mauritania. Just some weird names going on over here. But yeah, the DRC is going to be like, yo, my fault, I'm out. which is probably the smartest thing they could do. But the Nigerians are going to go ahead and just like occupy this region anyway. And then they're going to start to push up into Niger and try to get back some of these areas over here. Although they are kind of struggling with the guerrilla warfare happening due to the Ghanaian people from Ghana. They're doing guerrilla warfare because they don't want to get occupied by Nigeria again. Although too bad because they just lost. And now Burkina Faso starts getting lit up and it's pretty much over for the blue team here. How over is it? Well, Chad just lost its southern part. And that's not good because everyone loves Chad. But now these areas have basically been reduced to nothing. So Mali will surrender, followed by Niger, and then finally Chad. So let's take a look at how Nigeria and Algeria divide up Central Africa. Northern Central Africa, because Central Africa is actually right here. It's confusing. Very confusing. Alright, so in this peace treaty here, we have Nigeria getting all of this land. It's looking very not Nigerian. Like, you can't even tell that this is Nigeria anymore. You probably just think that it's like some kind of weird union happening over here. But nah, it's Nigeria. Take a shot every time I say Nigeria. You will not make it through this video. Alright, cool. So that country is now looking something like this. Utterly horrifying. But what does Algeria get out of this? Well, they're going to get all this land. And they're kind of looking like the African Union in the What If Civilization Started Over series. Which, by the way, is peak. Like, all the pre-recorded videos I did for that, peak. It's not going to get much better than that. I'm not going to lie. And all the ideas that I have for this series, man, the Civilization series is in good hands. I'm not going to say what has happened in like the 4 or 5, 6, maybe 7 pre-recorded videos that I've done. I honestly forgot how many I did. But just know, it's good. Cold War stuff, good. Very fun, very entertaining. Nuclear deterrence, weapons of mass destruction, proxy wars, terrorism, all that fun stuff. It happens. Maybe. Does it happen? Good. Probably. Maybe. Maybe not. There's a slight chance. But there's also a slight chance that it doesn't happen. And I'm just lying to you right now. But would I ever lie to you guys? Yeah, probably. Mostly no, though. Probably not. I could, though. You never know. Or do you know? Anyway, that does it for the Nigerian Empire. So I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. And if you did, make sure to leave a like on it, subscribe to the channel if you're new. All the support is greatly appreciated. I want to go ahead and kind of make a statement that Wednesday videos from here to Thanksgiving are not guaranteed. It's very dependent on my schedule and if I have all my classes or not. You guys know by now that it's hard to record down here, and that's why I did all the pre-recorded videos back home. But yeah, Wednesday videos, not a guarantee I was able to get this one off. But for the future ones, who knows? I gotta go to class though. I gotta leave. So I'm gonna head out. Bye. And of course, thank you to all our super fans. This includes Pablo Sigma Cat, Sermonator, Georgie Badev, Deathstrider X, Arentine, Hammertoad45, Connor the Gamer, Poland Country Ball, Nevada Garbage Trucks, and DW Cool Dude. Once again, thank you guys.